Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to Conversations with Madiba. Today, I want to share a story that's both personal and universal, one that captures the spirit of resilience and the power of ordinary people in extraordinary times. I'm calling this tale The Fire of Soweto, a mother's courage in the uprising. It's about the 1976 Soweto Uprising, seen through the eyes of a fictional mother named Miriam, whose bravery reflects the countless unsung heroes of our struggle against apartheid. I'll tell it with warmth and reflection, as if we're in a podcast studio, making sure it's engaging and clear for those new to South Africa's history. For those who don't know my story, I was born in 1918 in Mvizo, a village in South Africa's Eastern Cape. Apartheid, enforced from 1948 by the white minority government, was a cruel system that segregated people by race: black, white, colored, Indian, denying us basic rights like voting or living where we chose. I joined the African National Congress Inc. to fight this injustice, but by 1964, I was serving a life sentence on Robben Island for sabotage, after peaceful protests were met with violence, like the 1960 Sharpeville massacre, where 69 unarmed demonstrators were killed. This story, though, isn't about me, it's about Miriam and the Soweto Uprising, a turning point that shook apartheid to its core. Let's set the scene in June 1976. I'm in my cell on Robben Island, cut off from the world, but whispers of resistance reach us through new prisoners. In Soweto, a sprawling township outside Johannesburg, the government had decreed that black students must learn in Afrikaans, the language of our oppressors, instead of English or their native tongues. This was no small matter. Afrikaans symbolized apartheid's brutality, and the policy felt like an attack on our children's minds. Enter Miriam, a widowed mother of 3, a seamstress who lived in a modest shack in Soweto's Orlando West. She's not a politician, not an ANC member, just a mother who wants her children, especially her 15-year-old son, Thabo, to have a future. On June 16, 1976, Miriam wakes to a restless Soweto. Thabo, a bright student, tells her about a student-led protest against the Afrikaans policy. "Mama, we're marching today," he says, his eyes burning with purpose. Miriam's heart sinks, knows the police don't hesitate to shoot. She thinks of Sharpeville, of the past law protests she'd seen crushed. But Thabo's resolve reminds her of my own youth, when I defied curfews in the 1952 Defiance campaign. She lets him go, but follows at a distance, her sewing scissors tucked in her pocket, a mother's instinct to protect. The march begins peacefully with thousands of students, some as young as 10, singing in Nkosi Sikelel, iAfrika, holding signs saying, "Away with Afrikaans." Miriam watches from a corner, her heart swelling with pride but heavy with fear. Then, chaos erupts. Police arrive, armed with guns and tear gas. A dog is set on a student, and when a boy throws a stone in defense, the police open fire. Miriam sees a child fall, Hector Pieterson, only 13, shot dead. A young man carries Hector's body, his sister crying beside him. The image, captured by a photographer, would later shock the world. Miriam runs to find Thabo, her voice hoarse as she calls his name through the smoke. She finds him, shaken but unharmed, hiding behind a church. As they huddle, Miriam decides she can't stay silent. That night, she joins other mothers in Soweto, forming a committee to protect their children. They hide students from police raids, smuggle food to those in hiding, and spread news of the uprising through secret networks, much like my wife Winnie did during her banishment. Miriam's no warrior, but her courage grows. She organizes a funeral for Hector and others, defying police bans. Thousands attend, singing freedom songs, turning grief into resistance. I hear about this on Robben Island, through coded messages from new inmates, and it lifts my spirit. Ordinary people like Miriam are keeping the struggle alive. The uprising spreads beyond Soweto. Townships across South Africa erupt. Students boycott schools, and the world takes notice. International sanctions tighten, and the apartheid government falters. Miriam's role grows. She speaks at clandestine meetings, urging parents to support the students. One night, police raid her home, but Thabo escapes through a back window. Miriam stands firm, staring down the officers, saying, "You can't kill our hope." They arrest her, but her neighbors rally, demanding her release. After weeks in detention, she's freed, stronger than ever. Thabo, inspired, joins the ANC underground network, vowing to fight for a free South Africa. By the time I'm released in 1990, the Soweto Uprising has changed everything. It galvanized a new generation, forcing the world to see apartheid's brutality. When I meet families like Miriam's during my presidency, I see the cost of their courage: children lost, homes destroyed, but also their pride. In 1994, as I vote in South Africa's first democratic election, I think of Miriam, who's there in Soweto, casting her ballot with Thabo, now a young man. Her quiet bravery, like that of countless mothers, fueled our freedom. This story, dear listeners, is about the fire of ordinary people, mothers, students, neighbors, who rise when the moment demands it. Miriam's courage reflects Ubuntu, our belief that we're bound together. If you're facing your own battles, remember her. One voice, one act, can spark a revolution. As we say, amandla, power to the people.